Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video, and I am going to do an update on the tier list, slightly different to normal, because you'll notice there's not very many A's and B's and C's and S's and shit like that, because I don't see the point in doing the full tier list again. If you want to see where the previous units are placed, go and check out my last tier list video. This video is only going to feature the newest units that have been added to the game for about the last 2.5-3 months. So there is actually a good few units to get put up here, to get rated, and we're just going to jump in and we are going to start doing it. So first unit is going to be Fashion Dalsim. I'm putting Dalsim into the Chad tier. I think he is maybe a little bit underrated. He is actually a very good unit. He does take a bit of work though, right? I will say, he takes a bit of patience, he takes a bit of work, but he is the type of character that when you have him on the right squad, when you're using him in the right way, he is actually a fantastic unit. And I think a lot of people sleep on him because he had an awful trial. His trial was terrible, and I think that made a lot of people kind of overlook this unit. But while I've only used them as like mercenary and stuff like that, I've seen him used very strongly, and when used correctly, this unit is actually a very, very solid pickup. So yes, I am happy to put him in what I'm now dubbing the Chad tier, which is like the second best tier. So yeah, Fashion Dalsim, if you're looking for a character to work on, he's a very solid option. He's got lots going on in his kit, and I do think he is a unit that maybe will help you push some content if you are struggling, especially with these multi-team setups. Next unit, also going into Chad, is going to be the new Viper. Viper's absolutely rock solid. Now, the reason why I'm not putting her higher is simply due to the fact that I've not had enough time with her yet, okay? Now, I potentially would move her up in the future, but right now, for me, without her having soul power and stuff like that, I feel like as a DPS unit, she is a little bit held back by that. Ultimately, I do reserve the right to change my mind on that, and I might well change my mind on that, but from my limited use with her, as it stands just now, I don't want to go all out and say she's fantastic, she's top tier and all the rest of it, because again, I just don't feel like I've had enough time with her to actually go out there and judge her as that. She is definitely up there as one of the better DPSs. Is she among the best? Again, I think it's too early to tell, and that's why I'm just being a little bit reserved with where I'm placing her here, okay? Next unit is going to be Trendy Gale, or Fashion Gale, or Jojo Gale, or Gay Gale as some people like to call him. I don't know what his sexual preferences are. I don't care either. He's good. I've got him at double S. Double S2? No, triple S2. So SSS plus 2. I am lacking his cars at the moment. I've got 3 out of his 6 cars, and with his 3 cars, he's doing pretty well. Now, I know with his 6 cars, he will do a lot better, and I do feel like Viper, he may well slip up and go to the next tier, right? But for now, I feel like it would be a little bit disingenuous and a little bit of me doing what I've been guilty of in the past, and that is judging units a little too quickly, making people go and summon for them. He is solid, right? He is absolutely solid, but kind of like Viper as well. I didn't say this with Viper, but I will say it now. We're not exactly lacking for DPS options, okay? Now, he does have 2 things that Viper doesn't. He has soul power, and he also is a faction type. He is Thunder. But really, other than the faction towers, you're not really needing a specific Thunder unit for anything. And to be honest guys, even with him, you'll hit a point where trying to progress in the towers is just nigh on impossible. So even having a solid DPS option for Thunder isn't going to really actually do all that much for you, because the scaling is just ridiculous. So actually trying to push any sort of a content is probably not going to happen. So he's fantastic. Again, I reserve the right to put him up to the top tier, but for now, I'm quite happy putting him on that second tier, right? Now, next up, the unit we're going to look at, who I never graded actually, I did speak about them, but I never graded them, is going to be Vaga and Cami. Confession time. I feel like I went in a little bit hot on these guys. I said that they were almost like Monster Hunter Ken level. They're not, right? They're not. They're good, right? They're good, but they're not Monster Hunter Ken level. I'll explain why, in my opinion. A lot of times I find I need to really run these guys on the tag slot, right? For me anyway. But the problem is, when you're in the tag slot, you're only getting Vaga. You're never getting access to Cami. The only way you're getting access to Cami is if you have them on main rotation and you use their super. Now, the reason I don't like using their super is it is very slow. And animation speeds have a huge impact on this game. And unfortunately, the fact that it is so slow, I feel holds them back a little bit, at least in my opinion, because while they're changing, they can just die, and that's no good. If they had kept that sort of a invulnerability status that they have on the other version, it might have helped them, but I just feel like their changing of the guard, so to speak, I just feel like it holds them back a little bit. Now this next unit, he is the Giga Chad. This man is the god amongst gods in this game at the minute. He is arguably the best DPS in the game. Everything they've done for this character is absolutely fantastic. If the developers had rendered a penis for this character, I reckon it would have been about 12 inches long, because there's nothing that this guy can do wrong at the minute. He is absolutely phenomenal, and he is the first and only character that I am currently going to be declaring a Giga Chad. Yes, that is right. He is the one and only Giga Chad in the game, and that is Flame Adon. He is absolutely stonks. I told you guys, I said to you, watch the leaderboards. Just watch the leaderboards. You're going to see this guy dominating the leaderboards for the next good few events. Lo and behold, that is exactly what has happened. This man is the Chad amongst Chads. He is absolutely phenomenal, and he is right at the top, in my opinion, of this new batch of characters. Nothing comes close to him. He's just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And he is what people would predominantly call a free-to-play character, and he shits all over these other units. Easily. Easily, in my opinion. The next unit, probably a little bit controversial, but she doesn't make any sense. And it is the new Bookie. Now, I've put a Bookie into meh because she doesn't make sense. I've spoke at length about this with lots of other people, and they find the same thing. This character does not perform the way that it seems like she should perform. On paper, looking at her kit, she should do more than she does. But she just doesn't do it. She just doesn't give you the performance that this character should do. Not only that, the way that she works as well, it's very easy for her to miss, right? She can whiff her super attacks so easily. And I just think the stars need to align far too much for this character. If we inevitably find the secret sauce for this character, then maybe I would move her up to a higher ranking level. But for now, for me, she's just meh. I can't use any other word to describe her other than that. I think that's all the characters. No, in fact, there's one more. There's one more. And unfortunately, this character would break my ranking system. So I am not going to put this character on to a tier, because this character has no place on a tier. And it's going to be Sagat. Sagat is going to be not on any tier, because ultimately there is only one grade that you can give to Sagat that makes sense for this unit. And that is worthless piece of shit. He is useless. You're going to have people in the comment section that want to come to me and say, oh, Hayzink, have you tried this? Or Hayzink, no. But what about no? But how about if you put no? He's shite. He is shite. He is absolutely dog shit, right? As a character, they have given him a kit that makes no fucking sense. They have decided that they are going to give him cars that do not fucking function, and they have not done it by mistake. They have given his clones increased damage on purpose when they don't fucking attack. Colour me fucking confused, because this character is a deliberately designed piece of shit. And to fucking add insult to injury, they have now decided that this character is going to be a requirement for character bonds for the last 2 new units. Both Gale and Viper have this guy on the character bonds. To get the maximum usage of those characters, to get those characters at max potential, you need this guy built. Go fuck yourself. Seriously. That's all I can say, because this guy is not worth 1 iota of your time, resources, money. If you spent money on this guy, seriously, go seek help, because there's no realm that you could have saw his performance and saw his kit and thought to yourself, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to summon him. He's going to be good. What would have gave you that impression? I do not understand. Even as a box collector, you get 1 copy and you stop. Anyone who maxed this character out, even if the excuse is, I did it because you get 5 more levels for every SSS 5 character that you have. Jesus Christ, it's 5 levels. How much of a dick swinging contest do you need to have that you need those 5 fucking levels to beat the whale that's just slightly below you? Wake up, man. Seriously, stop rewarding developers for adding bullshit to the game. Don't spend on things like this. It's just absolutely sending the wrong message, and it's telling them they will basically buy any worthless piece of shit that we put into the game. So I am not going to put Sagat onto a tier. I am going to give him the badge of honour that I've given him on this image, and that is, he is a worthless piece of shit, and hopefully he is the only unit from now until the closure of the game that will probably be in about 3 months, knowing my luck. He'll be the only unit that gets that badge. So anyway, that is the amendum, or fixing, or whatever the hell we want to call it, but that is my mini tier list update. If you want to see where I've ranked the other units, I suggest you go and check out the other videos, and you will see where the rest of the units are ranked. I have been Hayzink, I have had fun, and I will catch you all on the next video that may or may not be about Street Fighter. I don't know, but if it's not about Street Fighter, you're not going to watch it anyway. So anyway, peace.